Thanks for being here, for choosing this session, and good afternoon, everyone. He introduced ourselves. Danny and I will share our visions, which are not our visions, it's CISCO and NVIDIA's visions about the new AI-driven economy. So over the next 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, depending on how fluent is going to be the interaction between us and you, we will talk about this new AI-driven economy. Thank you. New AI-driven economy. What is behind it, and what is the technology and innovations that will make us easier to seize and capture this opportunity. So, let's start with the definition of this new AI economy. So every economy has its foundational infrastructure, right? So at the beginning, in the industrial economy, we have factories, railways, and roads. Then in the digital economy, we have the cloud and the connectivity. And now, in the AI economy, the raw material is the data, and the factory are the data centers. And those data centers are getting data and compute and create intelligence and decisions, right? So these factories are made on silicon, software, and AI models. And I think this is pretty relevant. So if you want to invest in an AI factory, if you want to create an AI factory in your data center, please have this in mind. The innovations will come from the silicon, from the software, and from the models. And there is something that is also different from this economy to previous economies. This economy is perceived, those data centers, those factories, are perceived as a revenue stream generator rather than a cost center, right? So in fact, there is a number from McKinsey that says that $6.7 trillion will be invested in the next 5 years in data centers. So it's a huge amount of money that cannot be a cost center anymore. And where those factories are, it's not a question of, the factory is where the data is. So, and the data is everywhere. It can be in the cloud, can be on-prem, can be on the edge, right? So AI factories are everywhere, and in the future, AI will be hybrid, for sure. In this economy, there is a new currency, which is the token, right? Which is the token? The token is every image, word, income, answer we ask to the systems, and that has been created or generated by AI. So it seems like these tokens are a universal currency, but it is not that way, because we need to create value tokens at the lowest cost. This is the challenge. This is the new way to measure the productivity of a company, not for the number of tokens they are creating, because of the value the token has, and how to maximize the value and how to produce it at a lower cost. Because in order to create those tokens, of course, we need factories, but we need also people, skills, we need to change process. It's a huge investment. But all the analysts are saying that if you as companies, as organizations, you want to maintain your position or increase your market share, you need to invest now in this AI infrastructure. So most of the analysts consider AI as a GPT technology, not a chat GPT technology. It's general purpose technology, like electricity, right? Where you can have thousands of use cases. So usually those general purpose technologies go to market in 3 phases. First phase is when the investment is higher and the productivity is low, right? So in AI is where use cases are oriented to, to increase productivity, some of them reduce cost. Then, when the technology is more mature, then we are in phase 2. And this phase 2, we get more value, and create revenue streams from the investment we've made. And then in the third phase, we have made all the investment, all the processes are working, and then we have more benefits. So what is your view, Danny, on what is the value that AI is bringing to the enterprises? A couple of questions for you.
Hello? It's working now? Yeah, fantastic. Good afternoon, everyone. So Roberto, to your question, the value that it brings, you touched on it. First of all, foremost is, electricity into these AI factories, tokens out. One thing I'd add to that is then, how do you generate and get insights from all of this data? And ultimately, data, your IP, or each and every one in this room is generating, is relevant to you. And you want to get better insights. You either want to monetize that, you want to actually understand, okay, what is this data going to do for me and my business? That's something that together with CISCO, and we look at in terms of, well, what can AI generate? There's part of that motion is giving you that capability and giving you the speed and time to market, or time to insight, as we call it. So taking this information, interpreting that information, and then delivering that out. We see now, even by being at this conference, all of us, we are now on this journey in AI. The amount of people that I've spoken to and we've spoken to today, where you really sort of see the value that AI can bring and what it can do for each and every one of us, whichever industry or practice or business model that you're in. We're seeing that there is fundamental change from people, from industries, and from businesses that want to take advantage of the AI, and how that then delivers value back to you, each and every one of you. So I think on this, like you see, the trigger points and inflection points, we're really seeing that actually just keep growing. And from a momentum of customers wanting to achieve greater insights from the data that they have. But importantly and crucially, it's the speed to the access. So I think that's the key takeaway for me in terms of hype. It's more the growth and how they can get access to that data quicker.
I have a second question for you, Danny. How do you see in which status is the adoption of AI in the organization you are working with?
So I would say in the last 18 to 20 months, we've seen it accelerate. With NVIDIA, certainly in Europe, in France and Germany and most European countries, we've seen custom moves from this POC stage to now development and deployment stage, because the models and the data has become so rich, so tangible and easy to interpret. And part of that is because of the tools that each and every one of us can leverage. I'm sure everyone has got an AI in your pocket, whether you're using Gemini, whether you're using ChatGPT. It can be, whichever large language model or small language model that you're using. We're seeing customers on that journey, and they're using that technology today. Typically, it started with the consumer. It started at home use in whichever applications that we use, but that's now being pivoted towards business and business outcomes. So we're seeing customers now on that deployment phase, moving out of POC into production.
So you think we are still in a stage phase 1, phase 2, still in the hype?
I would absolutely say phase 1, moving quickly to phase 2.
Okay. I mean, there are some data that I want to share with you. I think you can read in the slide is 8 in 10 organizations has felt an increasing sense of urgency of deliver return on investment in their AI-related proof of concept of use cases. This is a tricky thing, because you have the pressure and you need to show value, but I mean, what is the value you want to share? I mean, sometimes the pressure is not related to real business value. So I think we need to be enough brave to choose for the use cases that are deliver greater value, rather than a small return on investment on the decisions we've made. The good thing is that 70% of the companies have identified AI as a top priority in their budget. So again, we are investing in AI. And the last point, last comment is from Gartner. I think only 14% of the I would say use cases that companies are working on are oriented to create value. The other 74%, there's something in the middle, but the other 74% don't do the sum. The other 74% are oriented to just to increase productivity, and that is the shift we need to get.
I'll just add, Roberto, when you mention projects fail, what we've seen is, and we don't suggest that they don't fail, but what we see is customers and organizations, the reason why they fail is because they're trying to achieve so much. They've identified so many different types of use cases in their business versus actually taking what are the most key and crucial projects that they want to achieve. We've had customers that they will identify 600 use cases, 600 in their business organization. And when they're trying to achieve, benefits out of 600, it's ultimately you will fail. Whereas if you can take 6 or identify actually 1, your single most pain point, what we see 100% of the time is that project will succeed. But going after 600, it's like anything. It's going to be very difficult to pass.
Yes, in fact, what I want to share is that maybe you start, it's just one example, that you decide to start with one of those use cases that are just providing lower value and increasing productivity, like AI assistance, up in the left. But probably if you invest time and money on create that use case, and then you evolve what you have learned, you evaluate those tokens and move to virtual agent, you are creating value from a single proof of concept. So that's one suggestion. So the next question is if the companies are ready to adopt AI and to develop AI. So we interview in CISCO around 8,000 executives from different organizations. We ask them about a lot of things about their organization. Strategy, infrastructure, data, governance, talent, culture. But in the end, the results were, only 13% of them are fully prepared to adopt and scale AI with confidence. And I will use this word several times. Adopt AI and scale with confidence, which is not, running with in a smart way. So only 13%. In fact, 34% of the organizations are ready from an infrastructure point of view to develop and deploy AI, and only 31% are confident in deploying agentic systems, right? 6 months ago, we were talking about automation and what is the value of AI to simplify the automation. Or maybe 1 year ago. 6 months ago, everyone is talking about agents, right? So we are running in this. So next again, how CISCO supports the AI stack or the customers with AI stack? We support the full stack, right? Let's start from the infrastructure. We support with compute, right? We have servers with different form factors, blade, rack. We include different type of GPUs with NVIDIA, okay? We have networking at the right speed that AI workloads needs. So we have a compute for every use case. We have networking for a use case. We have networking solutions for the back end with 800 gigs or 400 gigs. We have switching for the front end. And also we have invested in silicon. Remember where you need to make? We invest in silicon. We have made big investments in be ready to capture these workloads. Then in the data, we are the builders. So CISCO is one of the builders of the internet, right? We have a lot of data. And then we acquired Splunk. We have the platform to analyze that data. So we are ready to analyze and provide value to all those workloads moving in the data center. And then we are creating foundational models based on that knowledge. Again, we were super proud 1 year ago about how to manage the infrastructure, the network, from network as a code. Just one single click and deploy all the infrastructure, manage the infrastructure. Now we have agents to deploy the network, to maintain the network. So this is a big advance. And then we have tools and tool chains to manage the AI ML workloads with total reliability, and of course, to develop those custom models. But we don't want to forget about security and observability. We include security and observability in every layer of the stack. Couple of examples. In the network, we are including security in the network, so we don't need to secure a workload, we won't need to move the workload out to the firewall, coming back to the switch. We have now the next generation of switches that now are smart switches because they are able to do these type of things. But also we are including observability. We know what is happening in the network, in the compute, in the model behavior, in how the model is used, how the tokens are generated. We are doing all those type of things. So in order to maximize the value of the token, right, to create tokens with value at a lower cost, we have a great partnership with NVIDIA. But it's not only two nice logos in a simple slide. We have done a lot of strategic investments in a few months that I'm going to share with you that will help us to accelerate in the adoption of AI. Let me go through these three investments we are doing together. We are working in AI-ready data centers, right? So we have compute, networking, security, and observability. In compute, we have servers, as I said, Blade, rack servers, different form factors, but we are adding NVIDIA designs to our portfolio, like HGX, MGX, RTX. So we have a full NVIDIA compatible or certified servers. In the networking solutions, again, we are providing full capabilities for the back end, in the front end, totally compatible with NVIDIA cards. I will go deeper on that. And then we have security and observability. This is Cisco AI-ready data centers. Regarding networking, specifically to networking, what we have done is we are the only NVIDIA partner that is able to include a Spectrum X features in our silicon. Remember again, invest in silicon. So in our silicon, we are able to include those Spectrum X features. What does it mean? If an NVIDIA customer of you love the NVIDIA networking cards and you love the Cisco reliability, I mean, we can work together without saying no to one of the sides. But also we are doing more. We are putting NVIDIA Spectrum X silicon in our switches, right? Again, if you like the Spectrum X silicon, but you are happy with the Cisco networking capabilities, you can go with that. So it's flexibility. You can choose. You can choose and choice.
Roberto, you said it better than I did. So you've done my job for me. So thank you very much for that. I mean, it's a full stack. Part of the collaboration and partnership where we work together is exactly what you see on the screen there. One of the big advantages, I think, that working with Cisco as part of this engagement is having that full stack, having a validated design, and incorporating the NVIDIA software solution as part of the AI factory model. And then, like you said, it's wrapped around a secure AI factory message. I think that's a key differentiator for Cisco. You have great platforms, great technologies incorporating NVIDIA, but it's that security layer that you add to give customers the reassurance, whether that's in industry, vertical markets, whether that's neo clouds, whether that's sovereign AI, which I know is very, very pertinent right now. Everyone's talking about data sovereignty. And Cisco bring a real compelling value to that whole message wrapped around what you see on the screen. Really good.
Yeah, I mean, we will go deep in the Cisco Secure AI Factory, which is the third line of work we are doing together, Cisco Secure AI Factory with NVIDIA. And what we have done together is working. We started with a Cisco reference architecture for AI. And then this architecture is fully compatible with NVIDIA reference architecture, with projects with less than 1,000 GPUs. with more than 1,000 GPUs, we have a fully compatible architecture, which is NCP, NVIDIA Cloud Partner architecture. So now we are fully aligned with all the offering NVIDIA is doing. And then let's go to the full stack. So probably you are missing in this infrastructure the storage. Yeah, we are partnering with some storage vendors, like we have been in the past with VAS, with NetApp, Pure. We have some partners in order to provide the storage capabilities that AI needs. On top of that, we have compute, again, NVIDIA designs, CISCO designs. You can choose different type of a number of GPUs. Then networking, flexibility of choice, Spectrum X, Cisco reference architecture, NVIDIA reference architecture. We chose the Kubernetes platform, and then we have the NVIDIA AI software on top, which is adding the credit value. Maybe you can go.
Yeah, and I think that's the secret for us. That's the secret sauce, is having open framework, open container, available software that you can develop, whether that's pre-trained models, whether that's you're looking at your own large language model development, whether you're looking at just taking open source containers and libraries. Part of all of our ecosystem with NVIDIA AI software, or AI Enterprise as we call it, you can run that platform, whether that's in the cloud, whether that's on-prem with Cisco, or a hybrid model. So you can start even on a PC. You can start development, your developers, your data scientists, your researchers. But then as you scale, and you scale with Cisco, the models get bigger, and you generate more data, and as you mentioned earlier on, more tokens being generated. You need that scalability. The software moves with you. So it actually flows depending on exactly how you're developing, and what you're developing on is transparent for us. And this is the beauty of having it validated on Cisco, that you can take this software, you can take all the containers, the models, the libraries, the frameworks, the APIs, whatever it is, whichever industry that you're in, we've got models available to you, and we have blueprints that also leverage that as well. So it makes it a lot easier for you, because again, some of the customer conversations we've had is make it easy for us. How can we leverage the software available out there to generate some of these large language models, or to generate insights, whether that's speech, video, text? How do I generate the content for my business? And we've made that available through NVIDIA AI software.
Yeah, and I was leaving on purpose the comment about security. I mean, security, we put security in every layer as well. I talk about the smart switches. We can put security in how the workloads communicate in the Kubernetes cluster. So we are adding security to the workloads. We are adding security to the network with the smart switches. We are adding security to the models. So we are able to detect vulnerabilities where the model is being built and deployed and used. And we are also adding observability, looking how the full stack is working. And I will go to the edge now. And why going to the edge? Because I said data is moving from in the same way the inferencing is moving from the cloud to the data centers. Data is moving from the data centers to the edge. Right? So in fact, there is a big shift. So in 2021, 90% of the data was processed at the data centers, but now it is like a 25% in the next 2 years. Only 25% of the data will be processed on the data centers, and then the rest, 75%, will be processed on the edge. So what is Unified Edge? Unified Edge is a distributed IT architecture that processes all the data close to its source. To process data close to its source has the same needs that in the data center. You need compute, networking, storage, and security, right? The benefits of doing that locally or close to its source is you don't need higher bandwidth. You can have low latency. You reduce the latency issues. We don't have problems with data locality or data privacy. Or even better, we have real-time responsiveness to the data. We can get that. The verticals that benefit the most of this is, of course, manufacturing and retail, but any distributed workforce will be benefit of this. Defense, police, so governments are also. What we have done in CISCO is try to fix the challenges or put in these 4 elements, compute. I thought it was animated, sorry. No. Put all the elements, compute, storage, networking, and security in a single box, right? So we simplify the deployment. Because a couple of data, I think that 83% of the organizations believe that processing data on the edge will make it more competitive against others, right? It will create a differentiation. And also there is another one, there is an 87% of the people is concerned about how to manage these platforms in the edge. Our value proposition with this platform is you can manage this as you manage the same infrastructure in the data center. So there is a continuity in the way we operate and manage the infrastructure. So those are some use cases we can work in this with this platform, Unified Edge. Of course, manufacturing is the candidate, but I would like Danny to share one use case about manufacturing industry.
Well, let me ask the audience, is manufacturing something that you want to hear about, or is it retail? Can I see a show of hands? Retail or manufacturing? Finance, here we go. We've got one bidder for finance. Any more? Finance, I think we're going to go with finance.
Danny is like, which use case you want? Everything.
And again, this is part of what NVIDIA can add is those use cases, whether it's finance, whether that's retail, manufacturing, energy, government defense, etc. But for financial services, certainly right now, in terms of risk aggregation, we're looking at risk modeling. We're using agentic for, okay, how can you actually take risk out of your business? So a lot of enterprise organizations, particularly in retail banking, smart banking, and also hedge funds, where they're looking at, okay, how do you use agentic for, it could be quantitative trading, algo trading, where it was called HPC. You probably know high performance computing before. Now they're looking at a generative to agentic workflow, where these customers are looking at getting better insights to the data, looking at exactly what type of customers are using AI in the financial sector for risk modeling. Like as I mentioned, we're looking at weather. How can we use the data for, if we're looking at applications for loans, for mortgages, because people want to buy particular properties in a certain area. Well, what's the history of that area? How much investment should we be loaned or putting into these types of environments to then loan to customers? Is it a risk? Or is it a reassured, gamble? Or is it actually, no, there's no risk at all? So we have retail and financial services looking at that type of use case. We have it looking at back office. So how can they offer great insights about their customers? So when a customer is talking to them, when they're phoning in or they want to meet with a mortgage loaner or it could be a financial advisor, is they've got a really rich history about that customer, about that individual, or effectively their sentiment that they understand which direction that customer may want to go in, rather than then sort of come back to that customer in a period of time which is not appropriate in this day and age. They want fast insights, they want to get access, and they want to be able to deliver a very, very good, successful outcome because they're worried about customer satisfaction at the end of the day. Yep. And agentic can offer that. It's certainly from financial services, but manufacturing, it could be digital twins. They're looking at AI factories. They're looking at what our software platform called Omniverse. So you want to basically interpret, you want to look at a factory and what that model would look like physically. And then retail, footfall, optimization, and as I mentioned, there's so many more, and I could talk about this for all day long. And I'm welcome to stay around for anyone that can. So I think that's probably where I'd focus in on for finance and some of the others.
Thanks, Danny. So we are reaching the top of the hour, 50 seconds to the end of these 30 minutes. So I want to some call outs here, some recap. So AI is the foundation of this new economy. first of all. AI is starting to move the use cases to create a more value rather than increase productivity. This is where the use cases and interests are moving. So organizations are not ready yet to have a full, are not ready, they don't have an infrastructure ready to fully scale AI. And we have created together the CISCO Secure AI Factory with NVIDIA, which is the blueprint to develop and deploy AI and scale with AI with confidence from the data center to the edge. So that's all. Thank you very much. And I want to invite you to go through the CISCO booth over there where you will have a view about all of this stack and how security is in every layer of the stack. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.